Hey everyone, what's up? This is Ed with edheart.me, and this is the third part of my video series on learning how to use SketchUp the practical way by actually making something. And so we're in the middle of making a rustic farmhouse table. You can find the plans for this table and see how I actually made it on my site at edheart.me. And you can also find a downloadable model. So if you want to just go ahead and get the whole thing and start disassembling it, you can do that. But I hope you'll just follow right along with me as I actually create this. So we've done the whole table base, and now we're going to do the tabletop. The tabletop consists of seven 2x6s that are going to be the main uh, slats on the table, and then there'll be two sideboards or breadboards at each end of the table that are going to be 2x8s. And so we'll start by using our rectangle tool and drawing our first 2x6. So this is going to be a 57.5-inch long 2x6, and you can see as I move the dimensions in the bottom right change. So I can easily just type in, as I have been, 57.5 inches by 5.5 inches. Now I'm typing 5.5 inches and not 6. It's a 2x6, but remember 2x6 is the nominal size and the 5.5 inches is the actual size. So I'm going to get my push-pull tool and I'm going to click on the face and drag it up 1.5 inches and triple click it and turn it into a group. Now I'm simply just going to copy this 6 more times, but before I do that, I want to take my move tool and I want to get actually I'm going to take my rotate tool and twist around a little bit, zoom a little bit, because I want to get my board right in the middle of the table so that I don't have to move it around too much. So I'll get my um, move tool right here, and I am on the midpoint in the group, and so I want to just simply move it on this edge, and notice that, see how it sort of snaps to the middle? So I'm snapping to the midpoint of the group of the base, and I'll just click right there. So now I can see if I get my tape measure tool, I am 2 inches from the end there. If I spin around, I should be 2 inches from the end there, and if not, I can use guides and make an adjustment. And I'm not quite there. I must have clicked a little bit off. So let me grab my the midpoint there. That should be right. Let's measure it again. And this actually doesn't have to be perfectly exact. Yeah, there we go. 2 inches there and 2 inches there. So if you didn't see that, I have 2 inches right here. You can see down in the bottom right. And if I zoom around and get my tape measure tool again, 2 inches there. So now my tabletop board is right in the middle, and if I rotate around, zoom to extents, let's move this so I can see it a little bit better. Now I'll just do some copying and pasting. So Control C and V, and I'll put these boards right next to each other. Let's do another one. Right next to each other like that. And you know what I can do then is I can take each one of those, highlight it, copy the whole group, and paste the whole group. And then I only have, I think I do 7 across. Let's see. Yeah, 7 across. So I'll just copy one more. And you see how I'm grabbing the corners and snapping the corners to each other. So now I have my tabletop boards, and I'm going to select all of them, put them together in a group, and I can grab a tape measure, and on this group of my base, I'll put a little guide right in the middle. Then I'll take my, what do I call this thing? My move tool. And I'm going to find the midpoint in that group. Actually, what I'll do is I'll find the midpoint on the bottom edge of that group, and I'll just slide it right on over to the midpoint in that group. And so now I know that my tabletop, when I put my two breadboards on the end, is going to be right in the middle of the table base. So the end is easy, and I'm going to use exactly the same technique. My, what do you call this, rectangle tool. I'm sorry, I can't think. And I'm going to draw my line. This will be 38.5 inches, and these are 2 by 8s, which is actually 7 1/4. So I'm going to type 38.5 inches by 7 1/4. And using my push-pull tool, push that down 1 1/2 inches. I'll triple click that, turn that into a group. Then I'm going to copy it and paste it. And once again, I'll grab a corner so I can put it right where I want it to be by matching up with the other corners. Come on. There we go. Had to jiggle it a little bit. So now, for purposes of changing things around, I want to add these two end breadboards as a part of my group. So now I can actually hide or unhide my entire table. See, I have my view hidden geometry checked, so I can just treat that as one whole group. And by the way, I have all of this table base together as a group. And so if you're trying to put something in the middle or position two separate pieces that don't line up at the corners, it's easy to put them together in groups so that that way you can match up the midpoint of the entire group. So I'll just view my hidden geometry, unhide the tabletop, and there you have the farmhouse table completed. Now I'm just going to get rid of my guides, and you may want to now use the color fill. You can select wood or a variety of different colors. So you'll notice in some of my plans, as I have different pictures of the components, I've colored in the new things I've added. So we could just take that and turn that tabletop into a wood color. You got a bunch of different options that come built in. So that's pretty cool. I think for right now, I just want to leave that blank, because I'm going to show you in the next video how then to take my table and turn it into a cut list so you can see exactly what types of boards you want to buy at the store, and then how you're going to need to cut them down to size once you get them home. So I hope this has been a helpful tutorial to you. If you have any questions or want to play with this this model, head on over to edhart.me, where you can find my rustic farmhouse table post and you can download the model or just build one yourself.